Most people hear the word billionaire and instantly imagine private jets, marble mansions, and endless champagne. But Warren Buffett? He's a different kind of billionaire. He still lives in the same modest house in Omaha, Nebraska that he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He drives himself to work every morning in an ordinary car, buys breakfast at McDonald's, and spends 5 hours a day just reading. How could a man worth over $100 billion live like someone who earns $50,000 a year? Because Warren Buffett doesn't play the money game like everyone else. He understands it. Firm. He was fascinated by money long before he ever earned it. At 6 years old, he bought a six-pack of Coca-Cola for 25 cents and sold each bottle for a nickel, a 5-cent profit. By 11, he was reading the stock pages in the newspaper while his classmates traded baseball cards. That same year, he bought his first stock, 3 shares of City Service Preferred. The price fell from $38 to $27, and young Warren panicked. He sold at $40 to lock in a tiny profit, only to watch the stock soar past $200 a few months later. That sting taught him a lesson he would never forget. Patience beats panic. Money rewards those who wait. Reflective. Through his teenage years, Buffett devoured books about business and human psychology. He studied how markets moved, but more importantly, why people made the choices they did. By his 20s, he found a mentor, Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing. Graham taught him that the stock market is not a lottery, but a weighing machine. In the short run, it's a voting machine. People's emotions push prices up and down. But in the long run, value always wins. Buffett took those lessons and sharpened them into a philosophy: never invest in something you don't understand. He ignored hot trends and flashy IPOs, focusing on simple, enduring businesses: Coca-Cola, American Express, Apple. He called his strategy, buy a wonderful company at a fair price instead of a fair company at a wonderful price. He wasn't chasing quick profits, he was buying pieces of history. Nostalgic. Then came compounding, the quiet force that turned his fortune into a miracle. Compounding means letting your money grow not by doubling overnight, but by doubling slowly, steadily, inevitably. When your money earns interest and that interest earns more interest, time becomes your most powerful ally. Buffett started investing early, and he let the years do the heavy lifting. 80% of his wealth came after he turned 60. That's the magic of compounding. The longer you stay in the game, the higher the score climbs. Empowering. But Buffett's genius wasn't just in math, it was in mindset. He understood that fear and greed control markets more than numbers do. He said, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. When everyone panics, prices collapse, and that's when opportunity hides. When everyone celebrates, risk hides behind smiles. That single principle helped him survive crashes, recessions, and global chaos because he didn't trade with emotion, he traded with logic. Firm. His partner Charlie Munger once said, the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. So together they built Berkshire Hathaway, a failing textile company turned multi-billion-dollar empire. They bought insurance, railroads, banks, and brands the world uses every day. But Buffett never bragged about his billions. He once joked that his life is like playing the best video game in the world, where the score is measured in dollars. Yet he also pledged to give away over 99% of his fortune to charity. To him, money is just a tool, not a trophy. Reflective. That's what sets him apart. He doesn't measure success by the cars he drives or the suits he wears, but by the freedom he owns. Freedom to choose his work, freedom to read, freedom to think. Because wealth without freedom is just another form of debt. Serious. Even today, in his 90s, he still wakes up excited to read annual reports, analyze businesses, and learn something new. He spends 80% of his day reading. He says that knowledge compounds like money. Each idea adds invisible interest to your mind. That's why he calls himself a learning machine. Encouraging. But Buffett's greatest secret is emotional control. He once said the most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect. Because markets can test your patience, challenge your confidence, and tempt you to quit. He believes anyone can get rich if they can stay calm while everyone else loses their mind. His story is proof that money doesn't create greatness, habits do. It's about how you think when you win and how you act when you lose. Philosophical. It's about focusing on value, not noise. Serious. It's about saying no more often than yes. Wise. Because every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to wealth. Encouraging. So what can you learn from Warren Buffett? Start early. Stay patient. Live simply. Don't spend to impress. Invest to progress. Don't chase money. Let money chase you. Read more, learn more, and keep your emotions in check. You don't need millions to begin. You need discipline and time. When the next financial storm hits, remember Buffett's rule number 1, never lose money. And rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. He built his life on those rules and they work for everyone, not just billionaires. Because true wealth isn't measured by what you own, but how long you can live without worrying about money. So the next time you see a headline about crypto booms or stock market panic, pause and ask yourself, what would Buffett do? He'd breathe. He'd wait. He'd think. Because patience is the most underrated form of power in the modern world. Warren Buffett mastered money not by chasing it, but by understanding it. He became the greatest investor alive because he learned how to control his emotions, his habits, and his time. His life proves that you don't need to be born rich, you just need to think rich. And maybe the greatest lesson of all is this: you don't get what you wish for in life. You get what you invest in. So start investing in your mind, your discipline, and your future. Because in the end, the greatest investment you'll ever make is in yourself. If this story inspired you, don't forget to follow and subscribe for more finance stories, investing lessons, and money motivation. Join our journey toward financial freedom, one smart decision at a time.